Hi. I'm trying to do this record my call thing.
Well, all right. I hope you have something to say.
No, I don't know if it's, I don't even think it's working. I don't know what I did. It's so confusing.
Everything in technology is like that. Why don't they make things simple?
Sometimes they are, but this time, no such luck. But anyway, I don't know. I mean, I might be recording, but I don't know for sure.
All right, well, that's a better way to be anyway.
I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll just talk.
Yeah.
As we usually do.
Yeah,
we got such a beautiful little note from from the lady to whom I gave the last reading.
Oh, really?
She's so sweet. She talked about our friendship and how it comes across to the viewers, and how much they appreciate seeing the synergy between us.
Really?
And you should read it. It's so really very pretty.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so sweet. I know. It's such a gift to have a friend.
It is, and people out there, you know what you were saying about people like to watch others who are friends, because I guess it gives them a sense of real comfort, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know why.
Well, probably because to see genuine, respect and love between people is always a beautiful thing.
Oh, that's true. That's true. I was just making a joke.
I know.
Yeah, because everybody has friends, So I would say not everybody, but most people. So I think it's like friends are like a special, like
yes, but
sort of
a lot of
resonate.
people have pretend friends,
Oh yeah. That's true.
They don't have real friends.
Especially men.
Yes, they have a lot. Yeah, they bond over various games of violence.
Yeah. Usually has to do with farting, drinking beer, and
yes, and hooting, your team, whatever team that might be.
Yeah. Or playing with your toy.
Oh my God, I can't bear that. That is one. If I meet someone who's a sports enthusiast, I generally don't want anything to do with them anymore.
I know. Isn't that just kind of a defining moment when you realize?
Yeah, you say, oh no, that's impossible. I can't live with that.
I know. The only problem with that is my son is a sports enthusiast.
Oh, well then you have to, yes.
So I've sort of learned to embrace it. And actually,
yes, well they teach each other,
Yeah, well, actually I have girlfriends who are sporting enthusiasts too.
Well, that's true too. That's true. But it's so interesting historically. They built these huge stadiums for football, baseball and such. They built these stadiums without really knowing if the enthusiasm for these particular games, because it was still at the point where these games had just been introduced, sort of onto the masses, and they weren't sure. But the people who built them understood that there's something very addictive about identifying with some sort of hero, and when you're confined in a room, in your little cubicle, or whatever it is in your life, you don't have much of a chance to be a hero. And so this is like a mass hero play. And your hero, your team, it speaks to something very deep in the male psyche.
Yeah, it's tribal warfare.
Right. But being the hero.
Right, it's tribal warfare, which is why the Romans had the Colosseum. It's the game.
It's the game. But men seem to have, I know there are some women who certainly do that. But mostly it seems like the need for hero worship is more male.
Well, yeah, that's probably true. I always see it as competition. You know, they have to...
Well, it isn't, because ultimately the competition is a consequence of becoming a hero. But the hero, there's no place in society that people can do heroic things. And that's in the genes, you know. We used to fight saber-toothed tigers
right.
on a daily basis.
Right. Well,
and then, where's the nowhere?
Right. Well, then
unless you turn to, I think that's also why people are so attracted to outlaws.
Yeah, but listen, the competition has to do with being the hero. If you go back to the animal kingdom, it's all about getting to the top of the tree, right? The monkey who sits at the top of the tree is the hero. So you compete for the top limb.
Yeah, well, I agree. That's exactly what I'm saying. But I just think that the end, which is being the hero, that's the spiritual implication there, is because, you see, to have conquered everything and to reach a point where you're looked up to is what society doesn't give enough opportunity for its members to experience on their own life,
Yeah. But I don't see that as spiritual at all. To me, that whole syndrome is material because it's about spreading your seed, because the one who sits at the top of the tree spreads the most seed.
I don't know.
That's survival of the fittest.
I see. I'm not much of a Darwinist myself. I don't believe in that as being the impetus for human evolution.
No, I'm not saying it's the impetus. I'm just saying that's why men are pretty base. We are.
Oh, yes.
We have an animal component to our, who we are. I mean, we're part animal. We're not completely spiritual. We live in a material, physical body, So.
Certainly, but there are the sort of the survival urges in any human being, but then there's also the urges to live more than just for survival.
But you're talking about the unevolved male on a Sunday sitting on the sofa, drinking beer, and eating like nacho chips. So that's not the evolved spiritual male.
No, but he strives towards it by watching that. That's his way of getting there.
Strives towards
hero
level of
yeah. Your team won. Your hero won. You're identified with the team like a war pack or something,
Yeah.
And your war pack won, and now you're the winner. Yeah.
Honey, I've had 3 husbands, and I can tell you, it's tribal warfare. That's all.
Holy smokes! Well, it's so. That's exactly why when I hear somebody that I meet, and they tell me about their sports enthusiasm, I just cringe.
I think of Braveheart. Have you ever seen the movie Braveheart?
Oh, of course I have.
His face is all painted up, okay, right? In all the trailers and stuff.
Yeah.
Then switch over to the Super Bowl and look in the stands and see how those men paint themselves up. It could be the same guy. Seriously.
Oh yeah. That's it.
It's no different.
Well, you see, that's what I'm saying is that they want to identify so much with a heroic group, let's just say.
Well, and it's also because I think men miss war. They want to be at war all the time. And if there's no war, really actually going on, what do?
They'll create it, and they'll do that at their homes.
Right. They flip on the TV and they watch war, and that's basically what it is.
That is, and then they turn it off, and then they engage in you supposedly in a love affair. But they're not really mentally ready for a love affair. They're still in the war mode.
Yeah, right. Did Steve did he like football?
Steve, no.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, he did. Thankfully, you know what he liked? He liked 401 auto racing, where from his childhood, he was given a race set, and he watched the cars go around in circles.
Oh my God,
And that's what he does to this very day, is watch cars go around in circles and feels the thrill from it all.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Well, my second, like Mark, my second, he would watch any sport, every sport, any sport. He would watch broom ball. He would watch curling, like all the weird sports. He'd watch golf. He'd watch NASCAR. He'd watch cooking shows.
Oh dear God! Well, you see, if you equate the number of hours spent in front of these various sports with their
isn't that funny?
Yeah, because it shows total instability.
Oh my gosh! Well, it just means they have to compete constantly. I think
constantly. So it's a warning sign. Red flag, red flag.
Oh my gosh! Did you watch the Super Bowl?
Are you kidding? I would never watch this. Never. I'd never spend a moment of my time.
Well, what am I saying? Actually, this is how checked out I am. The Super Bowl is coming up. You know that, right?
It's what?
The Super Bowl is coming, right? Isn't it around Christmas?
Oh, yes. I keep forgetting the actual time of year when this great event comes.
It's coming. So, the thing is, I think men have convinced women that they like football.
I happen to agree with you. And it's sort of like identification with your captor. You start mimicking his behavior, and he loves you because you're one of the guys.
Yeah, right. It's like the Eight of Swords, right?
You're a real woman because you're now becoming just as obsessed and.
There are women who love football, definitely.
Definitely. I've met them too. I have absolutely nothing in common with them either.
Well, I think it's because if you can't beat them, join them, kind of thing, right?
Exactly what I say. You'll never see them again if you don't, participate at some level with these games.
Right.
You have to sit with them and stare at the television. And, hopefully they don't ask you any questions about it.
Right, exactly. Well, I used to get sold on it because, I was always told that the commercials were, the best of the year, so I had to watch the whole thing.
Yes, and of course you're in the business.
But,
you have to watch.
I never bought that. Not to mention the commercials aren't that great.
No, they're not, are they?
They're not worth sitting through, 3 hours of the Super Bowl.
You can see them afterwards anyway.
Yeah, I know I should care about football, but I don't. Not even college ball, which is, I have to tell you something, Ava. It is embarrassing because I have Gator plates on my car, which
yes.
I identify with my school. I'm proud of my school.
Of course.
Well, so because I have those Gator plates on my car, everyone asks me about the latest game, be it basketball, football. How's the Florida team doing? Oh, that coach or this player.
Yes.
And
you don't know.
I just nod my head and I do a lot of I seriously fake my way through it because I'm embarrassed. I'm like, I should know this stuff, right?
Yes.
Because I love my school, right?
Yes, of course.
But why is my school the only thing people think of when they see, the logo for the school?
Yeah, again, the school, it's like the schools represent various tribes.
I guess so.
You got to know, and the football is the representatives of that tribe.
Yeah, but think about how weird that is, because what if you traveled to another country and all people wanted to talk about was the latest, front that the U.S. was fighting on, you know what I mean? And what's the score, in this country or that country? It's kind of like that.
It is. It is. Of course, it's a replay of and it's interesting that, you know, there is such deep fascination with all these sports because, again, society is at a point where this is a tremendous outlet for some sort of deep cultural need that isn't presented. And I think because, you know, when you live in society, get in a car, that's a pretty dangerous thing to do is to drive, certainly.
Yeah.
So it's about the only place in which you really can, you know, kind of feel the danger of living. You know, most people are protected from life.
Right, yeah.
Protected from wild animals, and every day is not you know, challenging your skill at living.
Right, well, I think that's, and we've talked about this before, but I think that's why everybody's depressed and on, you know, like, Xanax and all these other things, because they don't have to fight to survive.
Yes.
You know, and we...
Makes that sense.
Right, which means, you know, the thing is when you're fighting for your survival, like while it's happening, you're actually having fun.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. You're meeting huge challenges. You're engaged. You're alive. You're connected to life.
Right, and I feel like that's
you're just wandering from one room to the other, watching TV and preparing supper. That's it.
Well, sure.
That's all you got, you know.
Right.
So people have nothing.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it's you know, it's even more prevalent than, you know, I don't know. I see it in young people a lot. You know, because they don't have to really struggle. You know.
Yes, and so they don't develop.
Yeah, it makes them actually, which is, you know, counterintuitive. You would think it would make them happier that they didn't have to struggle, but I really feel it actually makes them depressed.
It's absolutely true. It's absolutely true.
Yeah, just so, you know, but you told all the parents of the world that.
There's a guru whose name eludes me at the moment. He wrote Yoga, there's something path. And anyway, his biography is so interesting. He's the one who, at age 12 or 13, was by his father to leave the home because there were so many children and the parents simply couldn't support them anymore. And so he was asked to actually just leave.
Wow.
And you know, fend for himself. And so he goes like about a couple of miles down the road to a farm, and he lives in the barn, and he works for the farmer, and he earns his living, and he ultimately goes to Yale. And receives a doctorate in philosophy, and writes this book about yoga. He's a yogi.
Oh, wow.
So you see, he said in his biography, he said that if it weren't for that, he said he understood exactly why his father did, and he didn't think that it was mean, that it was just necessary. And he, realizing that, developed in a way that he would never have if he were coddled at home.
Right. Yeah, I think that's true, because when there's adversity, and we always teach that people who have adversity need a hand up.
Yeah.
But I don't know about that. I mean, I do think there are people who obviously need help. Fine.
You know, Aleister Crowley comes to mind as an example. He inherited something like $25 million back in the 18th century.
Yeah, that would have been like billions today.
Right. And look what happened to him. He used his time in the worst way possible, which was certainly he traveled the world, but he corrupted spiritual power and information. That's what he did with his idols.
Right. Well, there are people who love him.
Say that again, darling.
There are people who love Aleister Crowley.
Yes, people probably who've never read him.
No,
or if they have, they identify with the wrong things.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, I'm just like,
The man is just pure and unadulterated, corrupt.
Well, are you there?
Yeah.
Michael Pisarian likes him.
I can't understand that.
I can't either because I have read Aleister Crowley, and he is like very, I don't know. He's like the inventor of Satanism.
That's exactly right. And besides that, you know, he's a misogynist. He hates women.
Oh, I know.
And how Michael, who's supposed to be a proponent of women's divinity, could possibly like someone who's so opposite in his attitude. How is that possible?
I don't know. Not to mention he was doing all these like really dark, ritualistic things, like horrible. Of
course, dark, horrible. Do what thou wilt. Are you mad? That's the most insanely stupid philosophy in the entire world. Do what thou wilt.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are you crazy? That means like anything is possible. There are no morals. There's no inner guide as to what is proper and improper action. Do what thou wilt.
There's no, well.
That's his motto.
I know. Well, there's no higher self or his higher self.
No, you're fading out, darling. Yes, exactly. There's no higher self. There's no criteria. There's no guide. There's no model. There's no law of love that needs to be obeyed. How could Michael possibly like him? I don't understand that.
I never.
That would be if I met him in a party, I'd walk up to him and I asked him directly that. I mean, to his face immediately.
Maybe we need to go to a Michael Pisarian party.
You know, because the man, this is it. This is the telling thing. He speaks on one of his mouths one way, and then on the other, he holds him in high regard. How could that be?
Yeah, I don't know, because he always speaks well of Michael, or of Aleister Crowley and the Golden Dawn and the...
Well, the Golden Dawn is a separate thing. There were many members of that Golden Dawn, not all of whom were like him.
I know, but I'm saying of all the members of the Golden Dawn, he'll tell you that he believes Aleister Crowley was the genius of the past.
Yeah. Genius, you can be a genius and be evil.
Oh, yeah.
He was an evil genius.
Yes. Yeah, I know.
That doesn't make him in any way laudable or a subject to be worshipped.
Well, he was creepy looking, too. Let's put it that way.
Oh, my God. He's a misogynist. He's a rapist. He's a pedophile. He's a...
Right.
You name it. The man, there was no... He was a murderer.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't think there are a lot of people out there who share Michael Pisarian's affection for Crowley, you know.
So, yeah, what do you think it is about Michael that draws him to it? Because it's a very interesting question.
I would like to know. Maybe we should ask him. Let's pick up the phone.
That email would have to be composed very carefully.
We'll just pick up the phone and ask him.
Hey, yeah.
Michael, what up?
Hey, Michael, I was just wondering now, what is this obsession with this sociopath?
This Crowley crush that you have going on here. Michael is Crowley crush. Oh, my God.
I wonder.
It's enough to make me want to break up with him, I'm telling you.
You know, I tell you, it's true. And, you know, sometimes these, I find that if someone is popular on media as representative of the spiritual, you know, the esoteric perspective, you got to wonder, because, you know, the opposing side,
oh, I know it's clever. I know what you're going to say.
and they might very well have recruited him.
I don't think so.
Because I can't understand anyone with any sense or logic or even respect saying or just, being in that camp.
Yeah, but I don't think so. I mean, who knows? Nobody's perfect, and I believe that everybody has kind of. I don't think his alien stuff is out of whack. I really don't. I mean, an alien. So what is an alien? It's a word they're using to describe a being. That's all.
Yeah, I understand. That there are multidimensional beings. I know that.
So I'm not. That doesn't hang me up as much as that Crowley thing.
Yeah. I mean, there's certain harmlessness in attributing things to aliens, I mean, so, maybe, who knows?
Who knows? I mean, who knows? He could be right. I mean.
Yeah, who knows? And if he's right, that's nice. It's nice to know, that there's a family of beings out there
I mean,
who actually want to have anything to do with us at all.
Well, I don't know about that, but
maybe.
I think
I'm flattered.
Yeah, but even so, who cares, right? That doesn't.
Right, who cares? So did you see our ghost?
No.
Scorpio? Scorpio's out.
I saw Scorpio, and I looked for the ghost. I didn't see it.
Well, no, there isn't a ghost there, but our reaction to it.
Oh, yeah, I saw the reaction. I was like, oh, well, it was good. It wasn't